Mauritius, a small island nation in the Indian Ocean, has a remarkable story. This island, once a mere dot on the map, has undergone a transformation that is nothing short of extraordinary. From its pristine, uninhabited shores to a bustling hub of economic activity, Mauritius's journey is a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Once uninhabited, it transformed into a thriving economy. The early settlers faced numerous challenges, from taming the wild landscape to establishing the first communities. These pioneers laid the groundwork for what would become a vibrant and diverse society. It boasts a strong tourism sector and a growing financial services industry. The island's natural beauty attracts millions of tourists each year, while its strategic location and favorable business environment have made it a financial hub in the region. This essay explores Mauritius's economic journey. It delves into the policies and strategies that have propelled the nation forward, examining the key factors that have contributed to its success. It highlights its transformation from a sugarcane-dependent nation to a diversified economy. The shift from agriculture to a more varied economic base has been crucial in ensuring sustainable growth and development. Mauritius's success stems from strategic planning and adaptation. The government has played a pivotal role in steering the country towards prosperity, implementing policies that encourage innovation and investment. The country embraced globalization and implemented sound economic policies. By opening up to international trade and fostering a business-friendly environment, Mauritius has attracted foreign investment and boosted its economic growth. It diversified its economy and invested in education and infrastructure. These investments have not only improved the quality of life for its citizens, but also created a skilled workforce capable of driving further economic development. Today, Mauritius is a model for developing nations. Its success story serves as an inspiration for other countries striving to achieve economic growth and stability. It exemplifies how a small island state can achieve remarkable economic growth. Through strategic planning, diversification, and investment in human capital, Mauritius has defied the odds and emerged as a powerhouse in the region. This essay delves into the key milestones in Mauritius's economic history, from its early days of settlement to its current status as a thriving economy. Each phase of its journey offers valuable lessons. It examines the factors that propelled its progress. By analyzing the policies, strategies, and external factors that have influenced its development, we can gain a deeper understanding of what it takes to build a successful economy. It also explores the challenges it faces as it navigates an increasingly complex global landscape. Despite its successes, Mauritius must continue to adapt and innovate to maintain its growth trajectory. Through this examination, we aim to understand the dynamics of economic development. By studying Mauritius's experience, we can identify the key elements that contribute to sustainable growth and apply these lessons to other contexts. We also aim to learn from the Mauritian experience. By understanding the strategies and policies that have worked for Mauritius, we can gain insights that may help other nations achieve similar success. Mauritius's economic history is deeply intertwined with the era of colonialism, a period that has left an indelible mark on the island's identity and development. The story of sugarcane in Mauritius is not just about agriculture. It's a tale of power, exploitation, and transformation. The Dutch, the French, and the British all left their mark on the island, each contributing to the complex tapestry of its colonial history. These European powers were driven by the pursuit of wealth and resources, and Mauritius, with its strategic location and fertile land, was a prized possession. The Dutch, the first to colonize Mauritius in the 17th century, introduced sugarcane. This hardy crop, which thrived in the island's tropical climate, was initially cultivated on a small scale. However, the Dutch were more focused on other ventures, and it wasn't until later that sugarcane would become central to the island's economy. However, it was under French rule in the 18th century that sugarcane cultivation expanded significantly. The French recognized the potential of sugarcane as a lucrative cash crop and began to invest heavily in its production. They established large plantations, transforming the landscape of Mauritius. The French established large plantations and brought in enslaved Africans to work the fields. This system of forced labor was brutal and dehumanizing, yet it was the backbone of the sugarcane industry. The labor of enslaved Africans was essential to the profitability of the plantations, and their suffering was immense. Sugarcane quickly became the backbone of the Mauritian economy. The island's fertile soil and favorable climate made it an ideal location for sugarcane cultivation, and the crop's success brought wealth to the colony. Sugarcane was not just an agricultural product, it was the lifeblood of the economy, influencing every aspect of life on the island. It dominated exports and shaped the island's social structure. The wealth generated from sugar exports was immense, and it fueled the growth of the colony. Ports bustled with activity as ships loaded with sugarcane set sail for Europe, where the demand for sugar was insatiable. The plantation owners, mostly of French descent, held significant economic and political power. They lived in grand mansions and enjoyed a lifestyle of luxury supported by the labor of the enslaved population. These plantation owners were the elite of Mauritian society, and their influence was far-reaching. They amassed wealth from sugar exports, while the enslaved population endured harsh conditions. The disparity between the lives of the plantation owners and the enslaved workers was stark. The workers toiled in the fields under grueling conditions, with little respite and no rights, while the plantation owners reaped the benefits of their labor. This period laid the foundation for Mauritius's reliance on sugarcane. The economic structures and social hierarchies established during the colonial era persisted long after the end of colonial rule. Sugarcane remained a central part of the island's economy, shaping its development for centuries. It also established a system of inequality that would persist for generations. The legacy of colonialism created deep social and economic divides that continued to affect the island's population. The wealth generated by sugarcane was concentrated in the hands of a few, while the majority of the population struggled with poverty and limited opportunities. The legacy of colonialism, particularly its impact on land ownership and labor relations, continues to influence Mauritius today. The sugarcane fields still dominate the landscape, a reminder of the island's colonial past. The social and economic structures established during that time have left a lasting imprint, shaping the modern identity of Mauritius. The 19th century saw the consolidation of the sugarcane industry in Mauritius. The British, who took control of the island in 1810, further expanded sugarcane production. They invested in infrastructure such as roads and ports to facilitate trade. The abolition of slavery in 1835 led to the arrival of indentured laborers from India. These laborers replaced enslaved Africans on the plantations. Sugarcane prices fluctuated throughout the 19th century, impacting the Mauritian economy. Periods of high demand, such as during the Napoleonic Wars, brought prosperity to the island. However, price drops, often due to global overproduction, led to economic hardship. This dependence on a single commodity made Mauritius vulnerable to external shocks. It also hindered economic diversification. The dominance of sugarcane meant that other sectors, such as manufacturing and services, remained underdeveloped. Section 4. Post-war pressures, a population boom, and the limits of monoculture. The period after World War II brought new challenges to Mauritius. The island nation, which had already been through significant changes during the war, now faced a new set of pressures. The end of the war marked the beginning of a new era, one that would be defined by rapid population growth and the limitations of its economic structure. The population surged due to improved healthcare and living conditions. Advances in medical technology and public health initiatives led to a significant decrease in mortality rates. Families grew larger and the birth rate soared, contributing to a population boom that the island had never experienced before. This led to increased demand for jobs, housing, and other resources. The urban areas, particularly the capital city of Port Louis, became increasingly crowded. New housing developments sprang up, but they struggled to keep pace with the growing population. The infrastructure was put under immense strain, and the need for more schools, hospitals, and public services became urgent. The sugarcane industry, already facing price volatility, struggled to absorb the growing workforce. Sugarcane had been the backbone of Mauritius's economy for decades, but it was not enough to provide employment for the rapidly increasing population. The industry was also subject to the whims of the global market, making it an unreliable source of income for many. The limitations of a monoculture economy became increasingly apparent. Relying heavily on a single crop made the economy vulnerable to external shocks. When sugar prices fell, the entire nation felt the impact. This economic fragility highlighted the need for diversification. Mauritius's reliance on sugarcane meant that its economic fortunes were tied to the fluctuations of the global sugar market. Any change in international demand or price could have devastating effects on the local economy. This dependency was a significant risk that needed to be addressed. This vulnerability was a source of concern for policymakers, who recognized the need for economic diversification. They began to explore other avenues for growth, including tourism, manufacturing, and financial services. The goal was to create a more resilient economy that could withstand global market fluctuations. The 1950s also witnessed growing calls for independence from Britain. The economic challenges and the desire for self-determination fueled the independence movement. People from all walks of life came together to demand political and economic freedom. The independence movement gained momentum, fueled by economic disparities and a desire for self-determination. Leaders emerged who articulated the aspirations of the people, and public rallies and protests became more frequent. The push for independence was not just about political freedom, but also about creating a more equitable and prosperous society. These factors set the stage for Mauritius's transition towards a more diversified and independent economy. The groundwork was laid for future economic reforms and development strategies that would eventually transform Mauritius into a more robust and diversified economy, capable of withstanding global economic pressures and providing a better quality of life for its citizens. Section 5. Seeds of diversification, early steps towards a broader economy. Recognizing the need to reduce its dependence on sugarcane, Mauritius took its first steps toward diversification in the 1960s. The government implemented policies to attract foreign investment and promote industrial development. These included tax incentives, infrastructure development, and the creation of industrial zones. The tourism sector emerged as a promising area for growth. Mauritius's natural beauty, with its pristine beaches and clear waters, attracted visitors from Europe and other parts of the world. The government invested in tourism infrastructure, such as hotels and resorts, to capitalize on this potential. These early diversification efforts were crucial in laying the groundwork for Mauritius's economic transformation. They demonstrated the government's commitment to moving away from a sugarcane-dependent economy and exploring new avenues for growth.